Welcome to the Pelicans Sports Corner. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about how the NBA analysts didn't like the Pelicans draft, how they all seem to think the Pelicans was crazy for giving up their pick for Derek Queen. And we're going to talk about why they were wrong in this episode. So as always, let's dive right in. This is Nick Wright, and this was his reaction based on what the Pelicans drafted on draft night. This was his immediate reaction.
With absolutely no due respect, this post has been deleted. I'm taking a screenshot of this shams because I want to see what the New Orleans Pelicans. Wow. Wait, is this right? Hold on. This post has been deleted. I'm taking a screenshot of this shams because I want to see what they're actually trading it for. All right, okay, so is this post still up? The Hawks are trading the 13th pick in the draft to the Pelicans for the 23rd pick and an unprotected 2026 first, which will be the most favorable of New Orleans and Milwaukee. Hold on. Did New Orleans just... Earmuffs, kids. New Orleans just fucking traded away their next year's first-round pick unprotected to move up from 23 to 13? That might be the most reckless draft day trade I've seen in 5 years. With absolutely no due respect, who the hell does New Orleans think they are? What is New Orleans doing trading away? If Shams is... If that... Again, I am trusting Shams implicitly. Noah Singwe, whose name I'm mispronouncing, is the 12th pick. And now, at 13, again, I'm going to read this exactly. The Atlanta Hawks are trading the number 13 pick of the draft to New Orleans for the number 23 pick. Okay, 13 for 23, got it. And an unprotected 2026 first, which will be the most favorable of New Orleans and Milwaukee, sources tell ESPN. All right, now listen. Even if this is to take my guy that I have been begging someone to take for 30 minutes, Derek Queen, this is one of the most reckless trades I can possibly imagine. Also, of all the places I would be nervous about Derek Queen going, New Orleans is high on the list. Now, I have no idea who they're taking here. We're going to find out in a minute. But you cannot, if you're New Orleans, trade away next year's first-round pick unprotected. You could be terrible. Like, I know you don't want to think you can be terrible, but you absolutely could be terrible. Zion is a risk every year. DeJounte Murray will be coming off an Achilles. And when do we expect DeJounte Murray? Do we even? And when I say coming off an Achilles, like, are we even sure DeJounte Murray will be coming off anything? Like, when do we think we're going to be seeing DeJounte Murray? Maybe not next year. He could miss the season. You have Jordan Poole. How can you possibly trade away Your unprotected first-round pick next year. Atlanta. Great job. This is the... credit where it's due, man. That is a hell of a job by Atlanta. You move back 10 spots, and you get a lottery ticket for next year. Like, here's a fun exercise. Whose unprotected first-round picks for next season are more valuable than New Orleans? Like, who are the teams that we feel like have a better chance to just bottom out than New Orleans? Utah for sure. Washington, Charlotte. That's the list.
Okay, let's stop it right there. So he's sitting there essentially saying that the Milwaukee pick was a draft night disaster. The one that the Pelicans gave, the 2026 pick that the Pelicans gave to Atlanta. Now, let's fast forward to the future, to the present day, right now. They assume that Giannis was going to be traded. As we currently sit, Giannis is still a Milwaukee Buck. And the Milwaukee Bucks are in the East. Also, they have Miles Turner now. They got rid of Dame, but they have Miles Turner. Miles Turner just came off a championship run with the Indiana Pacers. Oh, and by the way, the Milwaukee Bucks play in the East, which is a lot easier than the West. So, based on his reaction, which was a bullshit reaction in my opinion, Milwaukee could be right back in the playoffs. Ain't too many players in the East better than Giannis. They all assumed Giannis was going to get traded. Giannis is still a Milwaukee Buck in July of 2025. So, if you pay attention to Derek Queen's summer league numbers, Derek Queen balled out. He admitted that he's been asking somebody for 30 minutes to take Derek Queen. So he played himself when he said, I basically like Derek Queen. He basically said, I just don't want Derek Queen in New Orleans. As you watch these videos, you'll see that these analysts consistently tell on themselves. Nick Wright is not a stranger to wow and reactionary takes. But based on Derek Queen's play, beside the injury, you be the judge. Did the Pelicans get it wrong? Absolutely not. Derek Queen got better each game. He got active each game. We watched it on here. So, and Derek Queen said out his mouth, there's nobody you're going to draft that's going to be better than me. So, I don't understand. I didn't like what they were saying during draft day, but I waited. You see me? I don't rush to react at all when it comes to the Pelicans. I knew it was a great draft. I didn't rush to react. I just wanted to keep the receipts. And now that we have the receipts, and no, we haven't started the season. As of right now, Derek Queen is injured. And everybody like, I told you so. But this ain't a major injury. Now, what he was saying about DeJounte Murray, that's more accurate than actually the Derek Queen take. Is DeJounte Murray going to ever get back to himself? Is he going to play the season? Is he going to be on the Pelicans roster? That makes most sense. That's what that reaction should have been for. Is he going to be a trade chip? We don't know. As of right now, he's still on the roster. So as of right now, that reaction is bullshit. So I will tell Nick Wright, what the fuck are you talking about? Because Milwaukee still can make the playoffs. And they added more pieces in free agency to put around Giannis. Giannis ain't going nowhere. He loves Milwaukee. They want Giannis to go somewhere. This is all them trying to push Giannis somewhere so that they can have stuff to talk about when it comes to the NBA. Because the NBA is not even on the playing field with the NFL when it comes to news and breaking news and things happening. So they got to fabricate the shit. Like their news is, oh, this person getting together, and it really don't be like, fuck the decision. Probably was the last explosive thing that happened. And LeBron James going back to Cleveland. Other than that, teaming up, all the teams that has been teaming up to parody each other have been losing. You've seen the KD Kyrie thing in Brooklyn. You've seen the KD Phoenix thing. It ain't worked. The teams that have been winning have been the teams that have built through the draft, which the Pelicans is doing currently. So when it comes to this Nick Wright stuff, he's taking an L for this. And early. Because you've seen the work Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fields put in summer league. We have the numbers. We have the tape. But you can't say I'm begging somebody to pick him for 30 minutes and then say Nola made a bad pick. Make up your mind. Either you want somebody to pick him because you're high on him, or New Orleans made a bad pick. Giving away a lottery pick that doesn't guarantee you the first pick. Make it make sense. And we see that the NBA is probably rigged. You trade away Luka, you get the first pick. You trade away Chris Paul, you get the first pick. You trade away Anthony Davis, you get the first pick. Because they need storylines. The NFL will have to fabricate storylines. Just saying. But let's get to some other reactions. Who else? We don't even got to hear what he said with the rest of what he said. It was bullshit the first 5 minutes. Okay, for some context, this is Rachel Nichols and Chris Mannix for Sports Illustrated. Let's see what they had to say.
Let's talk about a team that had, or has had, a very weird couple of days. And
I know who you're going to say.
That is the New Orleans Pelicans.
Ding, 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 ding.
They have had a very strange early run in the Joe Dumars, Troy Weaver era in New Orleans. To recap, a couple of days ago, they acquired Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey from the Washington Wizards for...
Which was a good
Howard
trade.
And Kelly Olynyk. The Wizards' reasons for acquiring those guys was pretty easy. Those guys, their contract comes off the books next year, and they could have as much as $100 million in cap space in the summer of 2026. I get it from the Wizards' perspective. Jordan Poole, though, has a fat contract and an inefficient game. Sadiq Bey didn't play last year, recovering from an ACL injury. Showed some flashes before then of being a decent player. So they do that deal, and I'm like, okay, well... I guess you did want to shake things up around Zion. Even David Griffin was talking about that the last couple of years. So there you go, you do with that. Then you get to draft night. And they draft with the 7th pick, Jeremiah Fears. I actually like that pick. Again, I think Fears has a long runway, but 3 years from now, when he's 21 years old, he could be a franchise point guard. Like, he's that young, but I think the talent in him is real. The next decision they make is to trade up from the 23rd pick, which they held, to the 13th overall pick. They traded up 10 spots to draft Derek Queen. The cost was that 23rd overall pick and a 2026 first-round pick, which is the better of the two picks between the Pelicans and the Milwaukee Bucks. Two teams that have very shaky short-term futures. That pick, here's how one executive described that pick to me. He said, quote, they traded away one of the 5 most valuable draft picks in the entire league across all years from 2026 to 2032 to move up 10 spots. That is a...
Let's stop it. That's bullshit. The Milwaukee pick currently, as we said on the previous video we watched, is not a fucking valuable pick. As long as Giannis there, it is not a valuable pick. If Giannis not on the team, then it becomes a valuable pick. If Derek Queen suck ass, then it becomes a valuable pick. But based on where we at currently, it is not a valuable pick. As far as I'm concerned, it might just get you the 13th pick next year. So basically, you just swapped for the 13th pick. Like, if the Pelicans suck ass, they already traded away their pick for DeJounte. So I don't understand this reaction. You say you like Jeremiah Fears, but Derek Queen is where you draw the line? Make it make sense.
Huge price to pay. They also drafted Derek Queen. I'm not a fan of Derek Queen. I've
You heard it, what he said. He's not a fan of Derek Queen. You heard him say that.
watched him, and I've talked to other teams about him. He has as much variance, I think, as any player that was drafted in the lottery. Like, you can look at Derek Queen, and you can see a guy with great hands, great footwork, developing into kind of that combo forward center in the modern NBA. But he's not an efficient shooter. He has an incredibly slow release. He's like the Tim Tebow of the NBA. Like, his release is really slow. And
We're talking about a slow release opposed to actually getting what he wants. It doesn't matter if he has a slow release if you can't speed him up. But go on.
he just doesn't have great size. Like, he's not a big guy. And I'm looking at Derek Queen, I'm like,
He's not a center. He's a power forward. Anybody can see that. That's just common sense. But once again, go on.
him next to Zion, how does that work? Did Troy Weaver like him because he played at Maryland? Like,
Him next to Zion, how does that work? He has the opposite game of Zion. He's more polished than Zion. Putting Zion at the 3, where nobody in the NBA can guard him at the shooting foul spot because nobody at the power forward or center spot can guard him one-on-one. Put him in pick and roll and watch Derek Queen bust your ass on a nightly basis. It's that simple. You talking about playing pick and roll with Brandon Ingram and Derek Queen? Guess what? Derek Queen will be more polished with that pick and roll because there's no forward that could guard him because he got guard skills. It's just that simple. It's simple basketball. What you mean how he fit next to Zion? And if you double him and Zion, guess what? You leave the center open or you leave Trey open, the pool open. It's a very simple game. I see what Joe Dumars was doing. Let's play simple basketball and get simple buckets. But go on.
I don't know. I couldn't forget the fact. I mean, I guess you can't forget the fact that traded away the 2026 pick because that's the big part of all this. But they move up 10 spots to draft Derek Queen, and they give away a pick that could turn out to be the number 1 pick overall in next year's draft, which is projected to be really damn good, especially at the top.
But you're missing one word when you describe this. Unprotected.
Yeah.
They gave it away unprotected into what is supposed to be this year, next year, is supposed to be 2 of the best drafts of this era. I don't understand it. And I am not a college basketball expert. I always seek.
If you're not a college basketball expert, how do you know that this year and next year's draft is supposed to be one of the best in this era? They be telling on themselves. How do you know that? How can you make an assumption based on something you don't know? You just said it. But go on.
See to the guys who scout all year when it comes to the draft, but in a lot of those reports from the guys who scout all year, there have been some red flags about conditioning. Is that who you want to draft if you're the New Orleans Pelicans and you've got the Zion problem and you're in a city that does not do great for people's conditioning because of all the food?
New Orleans ain't the problem with people conditioning. The players are the problem. The players. It's that simple. Like, nobody's forcing these players to go eat. They're going to eat. It's a stupid narrative. It's a dumb narrative. It's a lazy narrative. These players are professionals. They get paid to keep their weight under control. It's that simple. But, once again, go off, because it doesn't make any sense. On one hand, he's saying he don't like Derek Queen's because he has a super slow release. What did you see Derek Queen do in Summer League? Yes, he had a super slow release. But once he realized he had to speed up his release, he adapted. Once he really realized he had to turn up his defense, he adapted. What are we talking about? Players adapt every day. If everybody's doing 40 in a lane, you don't do 20. If everybody's doing 60 on the highway and you think it's 50, you speed up. It's common sense. It just doesn't make any sense. But once again, another trash evaluation, another reactionary to get views podcast. I'm just saying they didn't. To me, this is what I'm getting from all the videos. They didn't want Derek Queen in New Orleans. If Derek Queen would have got fucking drafted by the Lakers, the Lakers gonna be unstoppable. If he got drafted by the Boston Celtics, now they got this new young piece in Derek Queen who nobody can watch. How the views would have been different. But because he's in a small market, the same way they did the SGA, this is what happens. Small market teams, they don't care about. They say it themselves. It's not good for their ratings. They don't want these players in small market teams. They say the same thing when we got Boogie, DeMarcus Cousins. How are him and Anthony Davis gonna fit together? The same way they say how Derek Queen and Zion gonna fit together. They bust ass on a nightly basis. And by the way, they had a guy named Rondo who made sure they both got the ball. And before DeMarcus Cousins got hurt, they had won 4 out of the last 5 games. They were starting to hit their peak. And by the way, they was 27-21. So they were starting to figure it out and get busy. Who the hell would have stopped them 2 guys in the playoffs? Let's be real. With Rondo at the helm. The best thing that happened for the league is DeMarcus Cousins got injured because they would have bust their ass in that playoff series. And by the way, they had Drew Holiday. But they don't want to talk about that, which is cool because it's all about shock value and reactionary videos. But I'm cool on that video too. But you heard it here first. You heard it yourself. Who else? Who else has something to say? Because clearly everybody had trash takes. And once again, we in the era where people are gonna make this for content, which is cool, but just don't fabricate it. That's all I'm saying. This is the Dan Le Batard show. So let's see what they had to say.
Pelicans doing. The Pelicans have not been a relevant franchise their entire time in the league. They have spoiled and
the Pelicans has not been a relevant franchise. Pelicans just went on 2 playoff runs under Willie Green. Pelicans have been in playoffs with Chris Paul. Pelicans have been in playoffs with Anthony Davis. What the fuck are they talking about? They haven't been relevant in their whole entire time in existence. They have never won a championship, but relevancy is bullshit. Like I said, they just be talking to grab views. And this is the same person who say he don't like Stephen A. Smith because he feel like he destroyed TV talk or whatever the hell he said. I'm paraphrasing, but he don't even know what the fuck he talking about.
soured whatever it is that Zion Williamson was supposed to be, and one of their best runs in terms of leadership is when David Griffin brought his credibility there, and he has since been fired. Stan Van Gundy also gone. Don't know what that franchise is doing. Don't know if anyone cares.
I mean, look.
Told on himself again. Don't know what the franchise is doing. Don't know if anyone cares. All y'all have to do. I respect y'all more if y'all say we don't give a fuck about the New Orleans Pelicans. You have every right. You have every right to say that. But to spin it into something you don't know what you're talking about, that's where we got to draw the line. Because we seen the kids play and we seen the talent.
Joe Dumars comes in and he's got an edict to kind of like fix this thing, but not trade Zion, I guess, because he's come in and he's kind of thrown his support behind Zion Williamson. And draft day, let me just say, put it this way. It was confusing trying to figure out what they were trying to do on draft day, because for what?
It's very simple what they were trying to do. Very simple. If you watch basketball, you can understand this quickly. If Zion never pans out, guess what? We could build around Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fields. How can you not grasp it? Grasp that? That is a simple strategy. This guy may never get healthy, so let's draft 2 players that we can build around. It's very fucking simple. It's that simple.
They gave up a lot, I felt, to move up to the.
They gave up 1 pick. 1 pick that doesn't guarantee you the first round pick. Ask Utah. Ask Washington. They've been trying to get the first round pick forever. Still haven't got it yet. They've been tanking for years and still haven't got it. But the teams that trade away their star. Come on, man.
To the pick where they took Derek Queen, right? Which it's not lost upon me. That name is incredibly close to Dairy Queen. But they gave up an unprotected first-round pick next year, which is a very, very bold statement, right? In the NBA, when you trade your unprotected future first-round pick for any future,
And you're bad.
well, let's just say any future, no matter who you are, the bet you're saying is, I bet you this guy's going to be so good, it won't even matter. By the time that pick happens, it'll be something that we're okay with giving up with because this guy is so good.
That makes sense. That's the first smart thing somebody said in the last 3 videos.
But the Pelicans are awful. They don't have an identity. They're in flux. The roster isn't clear.
I agree with that too. They are in flux. The roster isn't clear. And they don't have an identity. That is 100% spot on.
And they traded next year's first-round pick. So, in essence, you're basically saying, oh, no, right now, this pick right now is going to change everything. So then you say, okay, well, who'd you got? You got Cooper Flagg, right? You got, like, a transformational player. You got Derek Queen, a guy who a lot of people like, has a lot of talent, but kind of have, if you read the scouting report, it's almost like we're talking about Zion Williamson. Hey, conditioning is an issue. Hey, he's really skilled, but is he a 4? Is he a 5? Everything you see about him is like, wait a second, we already have one of those. So now we got 2 guys who we don't know what position they play, and they can't.
Nobody asked for Zion a 4 or 5. He was either shooting forward or forward. Point blank, period. And they say he maybe can play small ball center. Zion still in year 7 hasn't had the polished game that Derek Queen has. It's simple. Oh, and Derek Queen don't have health issues. But he recently just got injured. Make it make sense.
Can't shoot well enough, and they're kind of the conditioning's an issue, and we're betting that right away it's gonna be perfect. This pick isn't gonna be any good to where unprotected status is an issue.
You figured that if they would have offered protection status on the pick, Atlanta still would have said yes at some point, right? And like you look at Derek Queen and what he's able to provide.
It really does sound like
That's
Dairy
crazy,
Queen.
yeah.
It really does.
DQ can help DQ. Does that work?
Well,
Right now.
Dairy Queen has to sponsor the Pelicans. Has to sponsor.
No choice.
I want other names in sports that give off restaurants. I'll get back to you.
That's a good one.
Okay.
That's a good one, Chris.
You look at his skill set though, and it's like basically just a less athletic Zion Williamson. So now you've got Dairy Queen running out there, and you've got Zion Williamson who wants Dairy Queen running out there at the same time. The spacing is going to be weird. They both kind of can't shoot.
Once again, a person who don't watch basketball. Now Derek Queen can't shoot. Zion, I can understand if you say that, but Derek Queen can shoot. How much tape did you watch that he see that he can't shoot? Make it make sense. If you're going to have a take, have an accurate take. Don't just pull from out your asshole because you want your take to be right. Spacing, you mean to tell me that Derek Queen can't run the floor? And on tape, that's all he's doing is stealing the ball and running the floor on a fast break? Zion can't run the floor since when? All right.
Team is weird in general, and then you give up probably the most coveted asset of the next year's draft for spots from 23 to 13 to pick a guy who you have already, and then you're going to trade Zion Williamson this year?
Dairy Queen playing at the Smoothie King Center.
Oh, boy.
Synchronicity. I mean, it's perfect. He has no choice.
Can I ask a question here? If the most interesting story from your draft is about the Pelicans, you had an uninteresting draft, right?
No, the most interesting story, like the mainstream people talk about Cooper Flag went 1. Wow, that's amazing. And then
Ace Bailey's a good story.
Ace Bailey going to the Jazz despite him not wanting to go to the Jazz. I mean, there are other things, but Dan asked me a basketball question. I answered like a basketball guy.
I did ask you that question because I am trying to figure out, again, 3 shows in 24 hours, and I'm explaining to the audience why it is that I'm not as informed as I need to be on the NBA draft. If you've been listening.
So how do you have a silly ass take if you're not informed, if you're referring to one of your colleagues who does cover the NBA? Like I said, just make it make sense. Just make it make sense. But when we come back, man, we'll have a lot more on this topic. We'll be right back on the Pelicans Sports Corner. So basically, they all had strong opinions about the Pelicans, but the truth of the matter is, based on where we sit right now, the Pelicans did an amazing job. Now they all silent. Why? Because they see the vision. But the good thing is we got the receipts. That's the main reason I wanted to make this video. We got the receipts. We heard what y'all said. Now watch how they change their tune and get on the bandwagon. Watch how they all say they like what the Pelicans did. Watch how it all changes. That's all I'm saying. And this thing where Bill Simmons talking about the Pelicans need to be relocated. Come on, Bill. Sit your goofy ass down. You know damn well when the Pelicans are playoff bound and the Pelicans are winning, that arena is jumping. Now, the arena may need repairs and upgrades and probably a new stadium, but that arena be jumping. You don't believe me? Ask Phoenix. And I'm going to show y'all in the clip here. Ask Phoenix how the city get down. Ask Chris Paul how the city get down. It was booing Chris Paul, and we typically love Chris Paul down there. You put a product on the court, and the fans will respond. It's the same thing that went on with the Saints. The Saints wasn't putting a product on the field, and we was wearing bags. People didn't show up. We was giving away tickets in the street. If you're from New Orleans, you will understand. If you're from New Orleans, you can confirm this. People were giving away tickets. So everybody wants to support a winner. It's that simple. Put the product on the court, and people will follow. But I don't want to sit up here and ramble, man. I appreciate y'all following the channel. I appreciate y'all likes. I appreciate y'all comments. Thank y'all for watching the content, man. I want to produce more content like this, so make sure y'all like and subscribe. But as we got the receipts, that's all I'm saying. All the people that said something, and I have more videos than this, but we got the receipts. So as far as Bill Simmons, if we make the playoffs this year, not saying we will, if we make the playoffs this year, and that pick doesn't become the number 1 pick, that 2026 pick, man, I don't want to hear what y'all got to talk about. I am watching that pick that the Atlanta Hawks got from us like a hawk. Because here's the thing. It better be the number 1 overall pick. Atlanta is no different than New Orleans. They looking for somebody to pair with Trae Young for the longest. They have played their playoff moments too, but as of now, they ain't won shit either. So, whatever, man. It is what it is. But thank y'all for watching the Pelicans Sports Corner, man. I hope y'all have an amazing night. We out.